Okay.
Paul, mute and camera.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all. Welcome everyone to the Agilysys Next Generation Hospitality event. My name is Thor Hansen. I'm the Senior Director of Sales Engineering. Welcome back, and in today's session, we're going to go over the next generation food and beverage guest ordering. As many of the hoteliers today are faced with many of the challenges we've heard on the news with regards to labor, well, Agilysys is in a very good position to help out. During today's session, we're going to take you through the next generation of the InfoGenesis point of sale. We've branded it IG12UX, which is the first iteration of the InfoGenesis that allows and supports iOS and Android. Additionally, we're going to take you through the contactless and mobile applications that we will allow for you to become much more efficient in your hotel operations and resort operations. So with that, I'm going to introduce you to Paul Amodio, who's going to be taking through this session. But before we get started, just a couple of housekeeping things. As many of you hopefully will ask questions, and we do want those questions to come through, please utilize on the right side of your PC, the Q&A tab. Additionally, should you require any of the past sessions, including this one, we will have them available on demand through August. Allow me now to introduce you to Paul Amodio, Sales Engineer of Food and Beverage. Take it away, Paul. Thank you.
Thank you, Thor, and welcome everybody to the welcome everybody this morning to Next Generation F&B Guest Ordering. I'm super excited to be here and to present to you this class. Just quickly, a little bit about me. I am Paul Amodio, Sales Engineer here at Agilysys. Been with the company quite a long time, and I'm very proud to bring you a presentation, as Thor said, of IG12UX and some ancillary products centering around our quick pay and mobile ordering. So this is the Agilysys Next Generation Hospitality Product Suite. It's anchored by InfoGenesis Point of Sale, which, as Thor said, has been modernized to now natively support Android and iOS, which I'm super excited to go over with you today. And we also have one of our 3 distinct PMS systems you see here in this slide, which is LMS, V1, and Agilysys Stay. We also have 2 modernized inventory and procurement systems, eTech and Stratton Warren. As you can see, we have developed a comprehensive suite of cloud-native or on-premise solutions that enable you as our customers to manage your operations and provide a modern, customer-centric guest experience. So in today's session, we're going to cover specifically several products highlighted here that we have developed that enable you to provide the kind of guest experience that you want, involving online guest reservation bookings with Agilysys Seat, guest online menu browsing or end-to-end ordering and payment from guest's own device with on-demand and quick pay, or digital menu boards for guest menu viewing. Even our self-service kiosks we're going to talk about so guests can go cashierless, and our own kitchen display system, IGKDS, that assists in managing your kitchen operations and ability to even text guests. So are you ready for the next generation point of sale? As we focus in on F&B specifically, and we think about our modern F&B operations, we have to think about how we engage with customers. And we need to do this in ways that are convenient and make them feel comfortable. So at Agilysys, we view the point of sale to be wherever it needs to be, in the hands of an employee, maybe a personal mobile device, or like a kiosk. And we understand that there needs to be additional technology available to help enable these workflows like digital menu boards and contactless payments from a multitude of these software platforms running on different form factors. All of these modern cloud-based solutions are supported by our newest version of InfoGenesis POS, with this modern UI, again, that's supported on Android or iOS. And this means you can introduce a wide array of hardware on different operating systems to service your guests in different environments. And these platforms are devices I'm talking about that we use every day, like our iPads, iPhones, Samsung tablets. And now, in regards to the new IG12UX platform that runs on iOS and Android, let's talk a little bit about some technology features for it. We still have support for this modern platform to run on Microsoft Windows operating system devices as well. We have developed terminal APIs that integrate to our standard InfoGenesis back office that's currently in use today. That means not only can you run on hardware agnostic iOS and Android devices, but you can coexist those with current InfoGenesis point of sale Windows-based terminals. This opens the windows of deployment opportunities for your organization. And given the gesture-based features and functionality you have on smart devices, we've integrated those features into our 12UX platform, along with easy-to-use advanced diagnostics that's never before been present in InfoGenesis point of sale. For example, imagine being able to do a diagnostic log data dump and send out data through the network to Agilysys, or be able from your point of sale device to query all the peripherals and show if they're connected or even what model they are running. That would be super helpful in times of if you needed any support. This 12UX platform is designed for form factors of almost any size. And that means that it can auto switch between landscape and portrait mode automatically. Usually if we have a device that's around 8 inches or smaller, InfoGenesis will automatically scale, resize, and change its operating mode. And this allows for F&B operation flexibility because you can take advantage of small and easy to use, easy to carry devices like iPads, iPad minis, iPhones, and Samsung phones as well. And this also should allow you to extend the area which you offer your F&B service so that you can draw in more revenue and use these common devices in areas like outdoor patios, pools, resort lawns, casino floors, just about any environment. And we've even integrated smart device optimizations like dark mode for better outdoor use, along with several additional user customizations like screen background configurations. And what I mean by that, some examples would be you can change the themes, not just from dark mode, but say light mode, obsidian mode, a red wine mode. So you have a lot of different options. Or you can take a single device like your iPhone or Samsung device, and since it's a smaller screen, if you want to change the fonts on just that device, you can do that. And if we jump back to the topic of gesture and touch-based features, we've enhanced the user interface with functionality such as like long press. And long press is where I would hold down, say on my touch-sensitive smart device, and it allows, in our application, I can touch on like a menu item and it will allow a unique function screen to pop up for common like server functions. Or on devices with swipe capability, you can swipe left or right to repeat or delete items. And all gesture quick-based functions are designed to optimize usage and increase speed of service. So the intuitive smartphone leveraging the usability of our favorite mobile apps makes the learning curve for your staff to be minimal, because again, these are devices that they use every day and are familiar with these functions. Aside from the modernized software features we've added to our portfolio Android-based countertop terminals that are complete with peripherals ranging from integrated cash drawers, like an all-in-one device, or you can mix and match and have Android countertop terminals with separate receipt printers, standalone cash drawers, payment devices, scanners, scales. The idea here is we've brought a lot of different options for you to utilize. And here you can see additional iOS and Android tablets that can be used as countertop options as well. We've certified our iPads and other devices to have locking poles or other multitude of mobile devices that give you a wide range. So it doesn't matter if it's the small iPad mini or larger iPad Pro or Samsung tablets, going from small to large, we have you covered in the range of hardware that we have certified. So now let's think of guest ordering. And the first phase may involve where guests are interacting with a ticketing or a reservation to book online. So keeping in the theme of contactless, if I was a guest on your property or your resort, the first thing I might do before I even come to site is check out your website. And if I wanted to say book a dining reservation, I want to be able to do that online. And that's what we can offer you with Agilysys C. And it's so much more than just restaurant reservations. We have a modernized web-based booking engine for guests to book online, say tickets or seat purchases to those standard restaurant reservations. So imagine being and ultimately, this empowers your guests and enables them to control their experience. They have total control to not only book reservations, but choose at least their seat, view their floor plan, control the booking experience. Guests can even view an online dollhouse image like you see here of any venue that you want to offer online, like a restaurant that's shown here. And even if you want to block tables out, guests can see that. and they have the ability and freedom to choose what table they like or feel comfortable or pick a few tables. And then as a business, you can charge revenue for those tables. And ultimately, what happens next is the guest starts to capture their guest details. So when they book a reservation, they're going to build a guest profile. And this is all before they even walk on property. So when they create that booking and reservation, that data is saved in a guest profile. And that guest profile is even integrated to our modernized 12UX platform so that when they're seated, when they come to the restaurant, that information flows over to the point of sale system as well. And then, for example, once a guest would arrive on property and they are seated in a venue, they have the ability to interact from like a dining perspective with our InfoGenesis smart menu system. And this involves scanning a QR code from any camera-enabled smart device to view a digital menu that is controlled by the InfoGenesis application. And what I mean there is this allows for, say, real-time menu price changes and updates that sync automatically with our smart menu application, and it's not like a PDF file. So to make your menus efficient, fast, change them right in the middle of service, you utilize the InfoGenesis modernized backend to control these menus. And it makes maintenance of your F&B solutions very easy. And the smart menu doesn't have to be a QR code. This could be deployed as a link on your website. Or think of maybe walking up to a venue and viewing a digital menu board on what F&B offerings are available. Display boards are common everywhere. When I go to a resort or a casino and I walk to a restaurant, whether it be open or not, there's always a display menu board that's sitting outside. So we now are able to create our own digital menu boards, all powered through the InfoGenesis application. The same backend application allows to manage these digital menu boards. You can take one of those digital menu boards and imagine adding a QR code on the screen. This would allow me as a guest to look at what I want. And if I don't want to come in and dine, I could scan a QR code, pull up a menu on my phone, and maybe take an order to go. Again, maintenance is super easy because there's tight integration with the InfoGenesis POS system. So now we're going to walk through a scenario where we have a QR code that's scanned for guest ordering. And essentially, this will take a guest to a specific menu, or it could take them to a set of many menus or show different venues. What this is we offer a product called quick service guest ordering and full service guest ordering with on demand. And we're going to discuss those differences next. So for quick service on demand, the scenario here is I scan a QR code, or again, remember, these don't have to be QR codes. I can go to an online website. I'm sure most people have ordered food online and clicked on a link and it's brought up a mobile menu, or if you've gone to a property, it's ever increasingly common today, or a restaurant where you're scanning QR codes and it brings up, say, a menu and an order experience where you can actually build your own shopping cart. Well, this is what quick service on-demand ordering is. It allows guests to place an order either now or later. Orders can even be scheduled days in advance, but you're going to pay now. Guests are able to order online, or they can create a guest profile with like a username and password. And this will allow them some additional functionality like the ability to repeat orders, to see their past orders. They can save their payment types, and ultimately allows for a faster checkout experience. And then this on-demand allows for unique menu customizations and like modifiers because it's using the InfoGenesis backend to control on-demand. And what I mean is you can take the InfoGenesis backend, utilize your same menu items that you use on the point of sale, and you can configure them to be used for online menus as well. So I could use the same menu item, but I can change the configuration. Maybe the description and the images and some labels like heart healthy, gluten-free, I can show those online, but those won't be present on the item from an InfoGenesis point of sale system. So it certainly allows for a lot of customizations in the system. We even have the ability for kitchen capacity and estimated time of fulfillment options. It's basically what that means is when a guest orders, the business can configure the on-demand system for a specific amount of orders to flow through in a given time, or the capacity of what kitchen printers can handle. We can also configure if a threshold is met, like order capacity is full, what do you want the kitchen to do? Do you want it to reject the order, force the order through, or perhaps suggest another time for the guest? The system can also project preparation time for an order. And this way, the guest has the ability to see how long an order will take before they even pay. So they ultimately can choose whether they want to abandon their cart or proceed forward. Again, this is all about empowering the guests, and we give them a lot of options from that mobile phone ordering scenario. And then complete with the ability to SMS text your guests at the end when their order is ready. And then ultimately, the guest will have to pay for the items in their shopping cart. And we have a wide array of tenders that you can see here that's supported with the on-demand platform. Some of those tenders are standard credit cards. We support mobile phone wallets like common Apple Pay, Google Pay, room charge interfaces, WeChat, Alipay. We could do gift cards, employee accounts. We even integrate with our casino clients with the casino management system. So players can use their points, they can use vouchers and offers as well. Our guest on-demand platform allows for customizable workflows as well, such as common things like dine in a restaurant, I'm sitting poolside, if I wanted to do like pickup or to go, or delivery, call it curbside, or even room service capabilities like you see here. So imagine being at your resort, and while I'm staying there and I'm in my room, I can order ASAP, or I can schedule an order, say for tomorrow. I can order breakfast just from the comfort of my own room. On-demand can be utilized in any imaginable venue that you can think of. And ultimately, on-demand is designed to increase your business F&B revenue, your menu throughput, and empower your guests to service themselves and reduce the cost of labor as well. So I just mentioned a little bit about quick service ordering, and we also have on-demand full service available as well. Now, full service on-demand differs in that ordering begins with offering the ability for a guest to order from their own phone, but with a check that's started from the point of sale terminal device first instead. So an example would be, I'm in a dining establishment and a server is waiting on me. The server has the ability to start the check. They will open the check. And then at some point throughout that transaction, they can generate a receipt with the QR code that the check can be printed. It could be dropped off at a table. And then the guest has the ability to scan that QR code, pull up that check or recall that check and start to add additional items to the check without the need for the server to be present. There can be multiple people sitting at a table and everyone can scan the QR code and view the check, see other items that people are adding, add additional items if they so choose. But usually we always have someone who doesn't want to use technology or they don't want to be on their phone. So that's why we've created full service ordering on demand so that the server can add items to a check, or if guests want to have the freedom to pull it up on their phone and add their own items at their own leisure, they have the ability to do that. So ultimately, this will provide increased flexibility in terms of the guest ordering experience, and it will help expedite service. As I know, it's difficult waiting for a server when you want to have additional drink or you have your appetizers in and you want to order the next round and you can't find somebody. It would be great to have that QR code and enhance that ordering experience. So then as we keep in the theme of like contactless guest solutions, when it comes time to pay, take full service on-demand ordering, for example, we've ordered our items, we're at the end of our ordering experience, and ultimately we need to pay. So we can bypass terminal payment devices or handing over credit cards to a server or walking up to a cashier or the whole time it takes when you're doing that process. What we can offer now is IG Quick Pay. So this is a contactless payment method where similarly, I can print an itemized receipt as like a server. That receipt has a QR code, which I can leave at, can certainly pay by normal means, or they could take their, say, phone or any camera-enabled device, scan the QR code, and it will take them to a URL where they can view a digital copy of their check. And then from there, they can leave a tip, they can get an emailed receipt, and then they can ultimately pay for their check as well. And all those same payment methods I mentioned in the on-demand quick service are available with our Quick Pay solution. So you can even use like points, offers, credit cards, room charge, all of those are compatible. And then you can get that email or like an SMS copy receipt. So next, if like these personal contactless ordering and payment options are not your fancy, then we have something a little bit different that we can offer called InfoGenesis Buy. So with this, you can have walk-up, tabletop, or floor standing model self-service kiosks that allow for full guest ordering and the exact same payment options as I mentioned in on-demand and quick pay platforms. This will still allow the guest to bypass a cashier and order from, say, a single venue or multiple venues from a kiosk. And these kiosks can have a multitude of hardware attached like printers, payment devices, scanners, so that the guests can go completely cashierless and service themselves. And ultimately they can pay with their normal payments, even their smartphone. If I wanted to use a kiosk, place an order and pay with Apple and Google Pay, I can do that very easily. And now with all of these solutions that I'm talking about, ultimately that will expedite service. It should increase revenue for your organization. And what that means is the issue nowadays anymore isn't order taking. It's shifted from order taking to order preparation. Because when you open the floodgates with all of this technology and ability for guests to order from their own phone or like a kiosk, the kitchens can be inundated with orders. So not to worry, we have a solution to help you out with that, our InfoGenesis KDS, that has order throttling and kitchen capacity features that will help queue and manage orders that flow into the kitchen. And as I mentioned again, you can even allow rules for the kitchen to say, how do you want to handle orders when the queue is exceeded, or to reject an order, or to predict times for the guest. And the guest can choose, say, another available preparation slot to prepare an order. We also allow guests who are, say, waiting in your venue once they place an order to view a customer display screen like you see here. This display screen syncs to the kitchen when orders are being prepared. And when an order is, say, bumped from the kitchen, it can send a message to the guest, or it can display on the screen and show that the order is ready. And then from a back of house perspective, you have the capability to see all orders when they're in a queue, or scheduled orders, or even closed orders from a KDS screen in the back of the house that can be run on, say, a standard monitor with connected hardware, or you can run our InfoGenesis KDS from the cloud. And you can have multiple KDS stations in your kitchen, like an expediter station, many preparation stations, and it's all cloud KDS capable. And ultimately, this digital KDS helps to eliminate paper receipts. It involves a lot of different options for you to manage the kitchen, like mark your orders, high priority, low priority, recall closed orders, fire them back into the queue. And it makes managing paper receipts so much easier when you're using a digital screen. Or if you still wanted to print digital or print receipts, you can do that with InfoGenesis KDS as well. So to recap, from the time a guest books a reservation at home or reserves that expensive cabana to sit down ordering from a server on our modernized InfoGenesis 12UX platform that again runs on iOS and Android, to guest self-service ordering and payment options with on-demand, quick service, full service, quick pay, we offer a truly omni-channel, cutting-edge integrated software experience. So what I want to do now with you guys is we'll quickly take a live look at these platforms, starting with online booking and then our modernized InfoGenesis 12UX application. So from here, we're going to take the scenario where I am the guest at home and I'm looking at Alpha Resorts and I want to book, say, a reservation. And Agilysys Seat can accommodate just about any venue. So say from a pool perspective, I wanted to book a cabana. I could look over here, say I want to book a cabana. You can set rules with our Agilysys Seat widget, meaning, what's the minimum, maximum party size? How far in advance can I book? What are the available time slots? And ultimately I pick and I walk through this booking process. And then what happens here is that dollhouse image that we can show where it's empowering your guests to view your venue so they can comfortably see what's available. They can hover over different areas and see, say, what cabanas are available, what chairs or day beds, and ultimately they have the power to pick where they want to be seated. And then from a business perspective, what you can do is charge revenue for each of these. Maybe that cabana in the corner is going to be a little bit more expensive than some of the other areas to be seated. So it generates revenue for you as well. But as a guest, I feel comfortable knowing where I'm going to be seated when I come on site. And then as I continue on with this booking process, you have the online widget that captures that guest information and starts to build that guest profile. And this page can be customized. The online widget can be customized to capture information that's meaningful to you about your guests. And then ultimately, I would agree to the terms and that I would receive an email and an SMS text message about my reservation. From that email, I would be able to modify or cancel my reservation as well. Or from, say, a restaurant reservation perspective, if I wanted to book a reservation as well, I can pick an available time slot once I pick my party size. And here you see something a little bit different. I have a dollhouse view of my restaurant, and I can hover over different tables so that when I come to the dining establishment, where am I exactly going to be seated, or what does the venue look like? I even have some private tables that are here in the back room. Maybe if I selected those tables, there's going to be an additional upcharge. Or if I wanted to book like a banquet room or some reserved tables, there's going to be a special charge for those. Ultimately, I would pick my table and I select next, and then I continue to walk through that similar booking process where it captures the guest information, fill in the options, and then I agree to the terms. And then I'm going to be reminded again by an email and a text message. And then ultimately here, it's capturing a payment. So for my restaurant reservation, there's a no-show cancellation fee of $20. So we can offer payment of any type, whether it be a no-show fee, or if you're just charging for that seat, $50, or that pool cabana, a couple $100. Or we can even offer things like packages on our online widget. So if I were to book, say, a restaurant reservation and it was a Mother's Day meal and it's $75 a cover, we can take those sorts of payment as well in this online platform. And then ultimately I would submit, and then I would receive a confirmation, and then I would get an email as well that allows me the ability to manage my reservation. And then from here, essentially what would happen is now I'm that guest, I am at the restaurant, and we're going to transition from this point and go from the Agilysys seat perspective where I show up at the resort, I'm at the restaurant, and I'm going to be seated in a restaurant, and a check is going to be opened from Agilysys seat where the guest data has flowed over to our modernized point of sale. And I'm going to take a few minutes and now show you InfoGenesis 12UX, and that's ultimately going to be run on my InfoGenesis or my iPhone. And I'm using an iPhone 12 Pro here. So this shows you that we have the POS running on a modernized platform. You're looking at the login screen of InfoGenesis 12UX. I have a standard sign-on where I'll go ahead and put in my username and the passcode. And then once I sign in, what you're looking at here is the open checks that I have available on my screen. And we're going to talk about some of the cool features with the 12UX platform here. So for example, some of the things I can do is I have an open checklist that you're looking at, and I can simply scroll up or down on my iPhone. In fact, I can see the Polomodio check because I've already seated my guest from Agilysys seat, and it opens up a check automatically on the point of sale system. And in the upper top left, let's navigate around and show you how easy it is to use this system. For example, I can click on the slide the little blue bar, and I can go from a check view to a floor plan view and slide back and see my check view. I can select on InfoGenesis and see some sub menu settings. So if I wanted to look at certain settings or change the themes, I can do that from within this sub menu. And then ultimately what I want to do is now take you through what a server experience would be. We're going to select that Polomodio check from Agilysys seat, and we're going to start adding a few items to the check and show you how easy it is to utilize this iOS version of InfoGenesis. So you're now looking at the server display. Down below, you can see some of my screens, which I can scroll left or right, and I can change screens by simply tapping. Or I can swipe up and show my full menu screen so I can see all my menu items. And I can select on different screens by scrolling again left or right. Here I have a function screen with common functions that servers might use, like combining checks, transferring checks. And then I can swipe back down. In the upper right, I have 3 little ellipsis dots. I can go ahead and select on that. And now I have a little submenu where I can scroll, and this shows me quick function. So instead of going to a special screen and trying to find a button on how to transfer or combine a check, I can bring up a little submenu and find those functions very easily in the system. So let's add a few items onto this check, starting with, say, we'll add a drink. And now I'm going to add a menu item, but let's pretend that I'm looking for a cheeseburger and I can't find that item on the screen. What I can do is we have a search function where I can look up a menu item by name, by SKU, by PLU code, and I don't even have to know the full name. I can type any alphanumeric characters and then search, and I'm ultimately looking for a cheeseburger to ring up. And here you can see I type just a few letters and I can see my cheeseburger display. From this point, I can click the plus sign and that will add that item onto my check. But before it adds it, there's some choice group selections that I need to make. And I want to take a minute to talk about how we've enhanced the server ordering experience with guests as well. And what I mean here is conversational ordering. And conversational ordering is the ability that if I'm the guest and I'm placing an order in the server, there's a specific way for me to order my item, like, hey, I order a cheeseburger, what type of bread do I like? And as a guest, what toppings, what sauces. It looks like there's a special ordering process here in InfoGenesis, but I don't have to follow any rules. So if the guest says, well, I want ketchup and mustard, I can scroll down and find the choice group with ketchup and mustard, and I can order as the guest is ordering. So I don't have to follow any logical flow. And that's true conversational ordering. If I'm having a conversation with the client and I need to jump around, I can certainly do that. And then we can come back and they say, I want a plain bun, and for my toppings, can you give me some red onions, pickles, lettuce? And then ultimately, I have to meet requirements of this choice group. So any of these choice group options that have a red box mean they're mandatory. And if it's a blue box, they're optional. For the blue boxes, I don't even have to make any choices. So I cannot save this item here until I make the final choice group selection of my sides. So I'll pick the fries, and now that save button on the bottom of my screen is highlighted. Or during that conversational ordering process, what if the guest says, you know what, I don't want a plain bun and I don't want red onions. I can click on the pencil in the upper right and I can remove, say, the plain bun, and they go, I want a brioche bun, and I can add the brioche bun. And if they don't want the red onions, I can select the red onions and I can remove, and I can add anything. They say they want tomato. Ultimately, once I order all the requirements the guest wants, I can save that menu item and you now see it display on check. Something else really cool that we can do is, remember, I'm using an iPhone. So I'm going to long press, I'm going to hold down on my cheeseburger menu item. And when I do that, look at the submenu that pops up with additional server functions that it brings up. So maybe when I ordered that cheeseburger and the guest had a request for something that wasn't in the choice group, and I want to add like a special instruction, I can long press on the menu item, and then I can go to special instructions, and now I have a scrollable menu of instructions that I can add. So maybe now I can come in here and they wanted to add mushrooms on that burger and it wasn't in the choice group. I can select add mushrooms, or I could type anything I want, like extra ketchup, for example, and add those onto the check. We'll just add mushrooms, we'll say done, and now you see those mushrooms that are added to the check. Additionally, let's talk about that long press a little bit more. You can see some of the other functions we can do from that sub menu, but what else I can do is I can scroll to the right. And now what I have is a seating view chart. So obviously InfoGenesis 12UX can do seating and coursing. With coursing, you can do line breaks. We'll do a little bit of seating ordering as well. So pretend we just ordered a drink and a cheeseburger for seat number 1. I'm going to select seat number 2. And now I'm going to move on and order items for the second person. We'll order a drink and a fettuccine Alfredo with grilled chicken and save that item. And now notice on my check, I have seat 1 and seat 2. So you can see how easy it is to do seating from that function menu. Or if I wanted to, I have function buttons on my terminal where I can just advance the seat and select the next few items. I'll select a drink and a filet mignon, and we'll order that medium. and then save that onto the check. So you can see how I have seat 1, seat 2, and seat 3. So those are some of the cool gesture-based features, from swiping left to right or long pressing on menu items I was talking about, that you can do with the modernized platform, all running from iOS. Now, it may come time in the dining experience where we've taken that first round, the server's taken the first round of drinks and first round of food. And remember, I said the scenario where we can have an itemized receipt with a QR code that can be printed and left at the table, so that if the guest wants to recall the check, they can do that on their own and they can add additional items. Well, here from Infogenics, I can go ahead and hit a function button, show an itemized copy of my receipt with the QR code available. That would print out, I can leave at the table, and then ultimately this will allow the guest to scan that QR code, which I did over here, and it's taking me to a URL for on-demand full service. And this is where the guest, again, has the ability to view the check, which in the upper right, I have my shopping cart button. I can see the items I've just added from Infogenics. I have an invite button over to the left. So imagine when I'm out dining, there's somebody late to the party. Not to worry, if we started a check, we've already ordered a first round, I can copy a link, I can text it to my friend, and I can say, hey, check out the menu and add items to the check, even if they're not there. Now, me as the guest on property, there's already some items on the check, and I want to add a few additional items without the need for a server. I can go ahead and say start order, and it's going to show me the venue menu that you see, that you're going to see right here, and the ability of categories. And within these categories, they're going to have a multitude of different menu items. And the cool thing to remember is that what's powering this on-demand menu you see right here is the Infogenics point of sale system. So all the drinks or any food that you service online, the configuration, whatever is offered online, comes from the back end of Infogenics. And I'm going to go ahead and add a few drinks onto this check. And I can view my cart at any time. And then if anybody's adding items, I'm going to see what they're adding to the shopping cart as well. You can see the drinks. And when I'm ready to place my order, I can select place my order. What that will do is it will fire these items off to the kitchen. No need for the server to be present. And at this point, it saves time and the server can become the runner. They can just deliver the drinks. And we can continue to do this until we satisfy our needs, and ultimately till we're done ordering and we're ready to pay. And when we're ready to pay, what we can do is we can print another itemized receipt with QR code and offer up our Infogenics quick pay solution. Now here you're going to see a copy of that full service on-demand check where I've had some of those menu items, and I've just added those 3 drinks on the bottom, which this is real-time, interactive. It'll update as I'm utilizing the other products. And remember, the backbone of these products is Infogenics. So you're looking at a digital copy of a check that I scanned from a QR code that's taken me to a website. But any of the revenue I'm collecting when I tender this out goes back to Infogenics as well. Now, as a guest, I can view this digital check. I can see totals. I can see any gratuities, service charges. I can add my email if I wanted to have a digital copy of this check sent to me as a receipt. Not to worry, we can easily do that. I can leave a tip down below, so you as a business can offer up different tip percentages. And then I have a multitude of different payment types. I can use credit card, as I mentioned earlier, room charges, Google Pay, Apple Pay, and loyalty. Loyalty meaning I can utilize points, offers, coupons, vouchers. And one of the cool things, since Quick Pay is just a URL, this is not an application that I'm downloading to my phone, nor was on-demand full service. They're just URLs that you're going to. So there's no additional software or downloads that a guest would need to do. It's all run from a browser. And then as a guest, I can put in my information. And since it's browser-based, adding credit card information is a breeze because I've shopped online before. So most people's browsers will retain their credit cards, and then they could pay very easily and efficiently without having to type in long-winded credit card numbers. Or maybe if I didn't want to pay with Quick Pay, I can go back to Infogenics. I can recall that check and I can pay with the server. So from here, I can recall the check where you see I have those items on it. I can click on the blue bar down below that shows 9807 as my total. That'll bring me to a little tender screen where I'm scrolling and I have a multitude of the full power of InfoGenesis to tender. We'll go ahead and tender out to a room charge here. I'll type in a room number. It'll query the property management system, which I can select the guest. I can enter my own customized tip. And then now I can sign digitally. So I'm still running. I'm back here. I'm on InfoGenesis 12UX from my iPhone. I'm tendering out a check for a guest. And then it gives me the capability to go completely contactless, charge, allow the guest to sign on my phone and tender that check out. So you have options of quick pay, where they're going to a URL and paying on their own, or you can use the server and still pay through our InfoGenesis application and even email and text your receipt. And there you see a digital copy of that receipt as well, which can be sent out. And then last but not least, what I want to show you is on-demand quick service. So we went over full service where it's integrated with InfoGenesis, where you have the power to go back and forth between the point of sale and online ordering. Now we're going to show you a quick check that's experience that where the guest just scans like a QR code, or they go to a link on your website and they're going to look at your venues, look at your menus, choose what they want to order from and place the order themselves. And then they're going to ultimately pay as well. So there's InfoGenesis is removed from the equation, meaning there's no server involved. But InfoGenesis is still the backbone of this on-demand quick service, creating the menus. So here I scanned a QR code, for example, it's taking me to a URL. I can see if you have like a multi-site, you have a multi-property, I could jump in and then here's where I have, say, different workflows on a screen. Like, do I want to do guest pickup, delivery, room service? Ultimately, I pick what it is. And remember, I stated you can order right now or you can order into the future. So we'll go ahead and place an order right now. And then here, what I'm doing is we offer up integration for our casino clients to loyalty systems. So we can integrate with all of the player tracking systems. And what I'm doing is I'm validating my player number and inputting a PIN, like as if I was putting a card into a slot machine. We can accept those within our on-demand application and query those systems to show points and offers for a guest. And now I can see, say, a menu of different options to offer up for a guest. So from a demo perspective here, I'm showing you like if the guest wanted to do room service, if they want to order from, say, a sit-down venue like the local eatery with craft food here, I can do that. If I wanted to scan a QR code and do poolside ordering, if I'm sitting in a casino and I don't want to leave my seat like in a sports book or a slot machine and I want to order beverage service, I can do that as well. You can even offer up retail items within our system to sell. So maybe with room service, I order breakfast or schedule it for tomorrow and I went past the gift shop of your resort and I want to add a sweatshirt to my order as well. So you can use on demand for just about any experience. We'll just quickly add an item to this check, like you see here, add a few items. And I'll add one more item with, say, some choice groups so you can see what that experience looks like. So I'm ordering my cheeseburger and I'm just scrolling. I'm selecting and I'm scrolling on my phone. Here you see, how do I want my meat prepared? What's the temperature? And as I scroll, I can see different choice groups, or up top, I can scroll left or right to select my choice groups. So I can add a slice of cheese, and on demand, we can turn on suggested modifiers. So based on prior history or what's commonly ordered, those options can already be filled in. And then I just select the toppings that I want. You can even add up charges as well. So if I add the bacon, that's $2 onto my base price. And then I'll add that burger to my cart. And then in the upper right, I can select my shopping cart and see the items. So from here, I can manage my cart. I can edit items. I can add additional items. I can repeat an item or customize an item in order without having to go back through that whole menu experience. And ultimately, that will expedite service. And then here's built in for the guest where it says my order will 14 minutes. So before I even pay, the guest has the option to see how long the order will take. And if they're satisfied, they can go ahead and continue. We'll capture their name and their phone number. Because remember, we can text guests when the order is ready. They have a tip screen. They can see an order summary. And then if you wanted to offer up like delivery fees or service charges, you can do that as well. And we ultimately go down to our payment screen and we have all those same great payment capabilities like credit card, room charge. Again, for our casino clients, I can see a listing since I validated with a casino management system. Maybe I wanted to use an offer. So I'll use a $20 food credit. And then one of the great things we can do with on-demand is if you don't have enough balance to cover the check, I still have a remaining balance on this check of $3.29. You can multi-tender as well. So here I'll just use my points. I did a multi-tender. This will tender out the check and complete the transaction. So once it's now paid for, the items will flow through to the kitchen. And that's on-demand quick service. The difference there is it's a one-time and done. I have to order and pay, and then the items will go to the kitchen. So now I can see confirmation. I'm order number 92. I can accrue loyalty points to my casino account. I can email or text myself a receipt. And then here's an example of what a receipt likes, where you can brand your logos, your headers and footers on a receipt. It's an itemized receipt for the guest, complete with totals, any additional charges, and their payment methods. And if you notice, this has an InfoGenesis check number. So again, the back end of this on-demand system is InfoGenesis. When you're tendering out orders, all of the revenue goes to the point of sale application. The same system where point of sales are closing checks out. So you're going to look at reporting from the same back end system. It's all one system. And the guest now has a digital copy of a check. So if there was ever a dispute or they needed to refund their check, they can go to any InfoGenesis point of sale terminal, have a cashier assist them. You can reopen or refund a check and do anything that's needed. And then that completes the on-demand demonstration along with InfoGenesis 12UX. Thank you.
Sensational job, Paul. Really good stuff that you showed today. Hopefully everyone's excited about the applications as we are at Agilysys. So if you have any questions or would like to see any further detail, please contact your representative. So this concludes the session for today. And again, we look forward to seeing you later on our other sessions, as well as the conclusion tomorrow. Thank you and have a great day.